In the serene yet unpredictable wilderness, where nature unfolds its mysteries daily, an extraordinary story began to take shape. Imagine an abandoned dog left to fend for itself, and a wild deer, solitary and cautious, finding solace in each other's presence. Their bond is not only surprising, but utterly captivating, a testament to how love and connection can transcend the boundaries of species. This is the incredible journey of an unlikely friendship that blossomed between two of nature's most vulnerable creatures. As you follow their tale, you'll witness moments that defy logic, stir emotions, and remind us of the beauty that exists in the most unexpected places. How did they find each other? What challenges did they face? And how did their bond become a lifeline in their shared struggle for survival? This is more than just a story. It's a reminder that even in the harshest circumstances, friendship can flourish. The tale of this dog and deer is a beacon of hope, resilience, and the power of connection, a story you won't want to miss. Before we dive into this heartwarming adventure, we invite you to join our community of animal lovers. Hit the like button to show your support for this remarkable friendship, share your thoughts and reactions in the comments below, and subscribe to our channel for more awe-inspiring stories from the animal kingdom. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of these unforgettable journeys. Let's embark on this amazing story together and discover how these two unlikely companions changed each other's lives forever. In a remote corner of the wilderness, a dog roamed alone, a shadow of its former self. Once someone's loyal companion, it had been abandoned without a second thought. With no food, no shelter, and no human touch to comfort it, survival became the dog's only purpose. Days turned into weeks, and the challenges of the wild grew more daunting. The once vibrant creature was now weathered and thin, its eyes reflecting pain and exhaustion. Nights were the hardest, with cold winds slicing through its fur and the eerie sounds of predators lurking nearby. Hunger gnawed at its body, forcing the dog to scavenge through the forest floor for scraps, often coming up empty. Yet, amidst the trials, the dog showed incredible resilience. It learned to adapt, navigating the terrain with cautious steps and relying on instinct to avoid danger. Every movement, every decision, was a testament to its will to survive. Despite the hardship, the dog's loyalty and gentle nature remained intact. There was a quiet strength in its perseverance, a spark of hope that refused to fade. Not far from where the dog wandered, a wild deer faced its own struggles. The deer, young and timid, had been separated from its herd. Without the guidance of older deer, every rustling bush and snapping twig became a source of alone in an unforgiving world. It moved cautiously, always on. The deer's plight was just as heart-wrenching as the dog's. The loss of its family left it vulnerable, navigating the forest with an unspoken sad. Days passed as the deer grazed on sparse patches of grass, constantly looking over its shoulder. Like the dog, it was searching for something: safety, comfort, or perhaps a And then, fate intervened. On a fateful day, the dog and the deer crossed paths. Initially hesitant, both animals kept their distance, their mutual wariness a reflection of the harsh realities they had endured. But something shifted, a silent recognition of shared pain, and their gazes locked, and for a brief moment, the world stood still. Little did they know, this meeting was the beginning of an incredible journey that would change both their lives. Under the canopy of towering trees, the forest seemed alive with subtle movements and muted. Among the dense undergrowth, a cautious dog with its weathered coat and tired eyes came face to face with an elegant wild deer, its ears twitching at every faint rustling. Their paths had crossed by chance, yet there was an air of inevitability, as if this meeting was written in the stars. At first, there was tension. The dog stood still, its body poised, unsure whether the deer posed a threat or was merely another fleeting figure in its solitary world. The deer, equally apprehensive, froze in place, its wide, dark eyes reflecting the fear of the unknown. Seconds passed like hours as they observed each other, their hesitation a testament to the hardships they had endured. Then, a gentle breeze carried the unmistakable scent of trust. The dog, sensing no danger, took a tentative step forward. Its movement was slow, deliberate, almost as if asking the deer flinched slightly, but didn't flee. Instead, it watched, its instincts battling curiosity. Another step, then another. The gap between them. What followed was a moment of unspoken understanding. The dog lowered its head slightly, a gesture of submission, or perhaps reassurance. And the deer's posture softened in a world where survival often came at the expense of trust. These two creatures had found a rare connection, fragile yet profound. Over the days that followed, the dog and the deer began to form an unlikely bond. It started with small acts of trust, a shared drink from a crystal-clear stream, a quiet moment of rest under the shade of an old oak tree. Slowly, they became companions. Their presence, a comfort against the loneliness of the wild. The deer would often nudge the dog gently with its snout, a playful gesture that seemed to draw a rare wag of the dog's tail. They moved together through the forest, the dog's watchful eyes scanning the surroundings for danger, while the deer's graceful strides led them to patches of fresh grass and hidden streams. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and bathed the forest in a golden glow, the deer instinctively guided the dog toward a thicket. It was a natural shelter, dense enough to shield them from the cool night air and any lurking predators. The dog, in turn, curled protectively around the deer, its warm body a barrier against the... These shared moments painted a picture of harmony. Despite their vast differences, the dog, a domesticated animal turned survivor, and the deer, a creature born to the wild, they found common. Their actions seemed almost coordinated. An unspoken language, forming between playfulness, also began to creep into their days. The deer would leap gracefully across clearings, its energy infectious, and the dog, though less agile, would chase after it with surprising. At times, they would pause to rest, the deer nibbling on leaves while the dog dozed with its ears twitching at every sound. Their companionship defied logic, but underscored the resilience of the animal spirit. In a world that often emphasized survival of the fittest, these two had created a partnership built on trust, mutual respect, and the shared desire to overcome the odds. As days turned to weeks, their bond only grew stronger. The dog's once guarded demeanor softened, its loyalty extending not just to survival, but to its newfound friend. The deer, in turn, became less skittish, finding solace in the dog's presence. Together, they represented something extraordinary, a reminder that even in the most unlikely of circumstances, connection and friendship can bloom, bringing hope to even the most desolate of places. This bond, fragile yet steadfast, was a testament to the power of trust and the beauty of relationships that transcend boundaries. The dog and the deer ventured through the wilderness as a duo, moving as though guided by an unspoken rhythm. Each step brought them closer, not just to new territories, but to an unbreakable. The forest was their playground, their refuge, and sometimes their battle. In one remarkable instance, the pair stumbled upon a hidden clearing bathed in golden sunlight. Here, the deer bounded gracefully across the open space, its slender legs kicking up tufts of grass. The dog followed, its tail wagging furiously, barking in excitement as it tried to keep up. The deer would pause occasionally, turning back to nudge its companion gently before darting off. Their adventures weren't always carefree. On one stormy evening, dark clouds rolled in, unleashing a torrent of rain that soaked. The duo sought shelter under a large gnarled tree, its twisted roots forming a natural canopy. The dog pressed close to the deer, its body trembling from the cold, while the deer stood tall, providing a sense of calm amidst the chaos. Together, they weathered the storm, their bond strengthening with every passing. On another occasion, danger lurked in the form of a prowling predatory lean and hungry coyote. The deer spotted it first, its ears twitching and body freezing in place. The dog, sensing the threat, growled low in its throat, stepping forward to shield its. The coyote circled, eyes glinting with hunger, but the dog's unwavering stance and the deer's sudden sharp snorts sent it slinking back into the shadows. The pair's explorations revealed hidden treasures of the Wilda sparkling brook where they drank side by side, patches of berries that the deer delicately plucked while the dog dug at the soft earth near. Each discovery brought them closer, their connection thriving In the heart of nature's beauty and unpredictability, life in the wilderness wasn't without its struggles. Scarcity of food was a constant concern. The dog, accustomed to scrounging for scraps, taught itself to dig up roots and forage for anything edible. The deer, with its natural instinct for finding nourishment, led the way to patches of greenery, often stopping to share its findings. In this delicate balance, they kept each other alive. Harsh weather posed another significant challenge. Winters in the forest were unforgiving, with biting winds and thick blankets of snow covering the ground. On particularly frigid nights, the deer would huddle close to the dog, its warm body a welcome relief against the icy cold. The dog, in turn, used its keen sense of smell to find sheltered spots where they could escape the worst of the elements. Predators remained an ever-present danger. One chilling encounter saw the pair surrounded by a pack of wolves, their glowing eyes peering from the shadow. The deer, though trembling with fear, stood beside the dog, who growled ferociously, its bared teeth a clear warning. It was a standoff that lasted minutes but felt like an eternity. Finally, the wolves, sensing the determination of the duo, backed off, melting into the darkness. Even in moments of calm, the wild presented obstacles that tested their bond. Crossing a wide, rushing river was one such trial. The deer, more agile and sure-footed, moved carefully across the slippery rocks. The dog hesitated, its paws slipping on the wet surface. The deer, sensing its companion's fear, returned to its side, nudging it gently, as if to say, "We'll do this together." Step by step, they crossed their teamwork, a testament to their mutual trust. The most poignant challenge, however, came when the dog fell ill. Exhaustion and a lack of proper nourishment had taken its. The deer, usually the follower, took on the role of protector, staying by the dog's side as it rested under a thick canopy of leaves. It foraged nearby, bringing back edible plants and even nudging water closer to the dog. The deer's care and patience gave the dog the strength to recover, cementing their bond in a way no words could. Through every trial, their loyalty to each other never wavered. Each challenge brought them closer, proving that their friendship was more than a chance encounter. It was a partnership forged in adversity, bound by mutual respect and an unshakable sense of togetherness. Their journey together was more than survival. It was a story of resilience, teamwork, and the power of an unbreakable. They faced the wild, not as individuals, but as a team, overcoming every obstacle with a unity that transcended the boundaries of species. Together, they thrived, turning the wilderness into their shared sanctuary and their struggles into stories of triumph. The secluded forest, where the dog and deer thrived, wasn't entirely untouched by human presence. One fateful day, a hiker stumbled across the pair while traversing a well-worn trail. The sight was something straight out of a storybook. A weathered dog and an elegant deer resting side by side beneath the shade of an ancient oak. The hiker froze, unsure if the moment was real or a mirage created by the golden afternoon. The deer was the first to notice the human presence, its ears perking up and muscles tensing. The dog, ever protective, followed suit, standing and placing itself between the deer and the stranger. For a moment, it seemed as if the encounter would end in the animals fleeing, but instead, the deer remained still, cautiously watching the human, while the dog, though wary, refrained from. Recognizing the uniqueness of the scene, the hikers slowly reached for their phone, carefully capturing a few photos and a short video. The footage showed the dog and deer side by side, their bond undeniable in the way they moved and responded to each other. The hiker whispered words of reassurance, their soft tone easing some of the. After a few moments, the deer turned back toward the dog, nuzzling it gently, as if to say, "Let's go." The hiker watched in awe as the pair moved deeper into the forest, their departure as serene and otherworldly as their presence. Shaken by the encounter, the hiker shared the story with a local forest ranger, who expressed equal astonishment. Soon after, efforts began to track and observe the duo, not to disrupt their lives, but to understand the phenomena and ensure their safety. When the hikers shared their photos and video on social media, the post quickly gained traction.
"A likely friendship in the wild,"
read the caption, accompanied by heartwarming images of the dog and deer. Within hours, The post garnered thousands of likes, shares, and comments. People from around the world marveled at the bond between two creatures so fundamentally different, yet so deeply connected. News outlets picked up the story, intrigued by the rare display of interspecies friendship. Local reporters reached out to the hiker, requesting interviews and additional details about the encounter. Wildlife enthusiasts, animal behaviorists, and even celebrities chimed in with their interpretations, theories, and heartfelt reactions. The video of the dog and deer became a sensation, with hashtags like dog and deer and nature friendship trending across The footage was shared on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, reaching millions of viewers. The dog's protective stance and the deer's gentle nuzzling became symbols of loyalty and compassion, evoking emotions in viewers of all ages. Comments flooded in from people moved by the story. Some shared anecdotes of their own pets forming unlikely bonds, while others reflected on how the pair's friendship offered a glimmer of hope in an often divisive. We could all learn something from these two, one viewer wrote, summing up the sentiments of the animal's growing fame brought experts into the conversation. Wildlife organizations and animal psychologists analyzed the footage, providing insights into what might have driven the dog and deer to form such. While some attributed it to survival instincts, others argued that it was a testament to the emotional depth animals are capable. As the story gained momentum, people began visiting the forest, hoping to catch a glimpse of the famous duo. Forest rangers, while keen to protect the animals from overexposure, couldn't help but admire how their friendship had captured the hearts of so many. Soon, the story expanded beyond social media. Documentaries were pitched, and donations poured in to support local wildlife sanctuaries. Merchandise featuring the dog and deer illustrated mugs, t-shirts, and calendars became symbols of hope, with proceeds going toward animal conservation. Through it all, the pair remained blissfully unaware of their fame. For them, life continued as it always had, filled with adventures, challenges, and quiet moments of companionship. Their bond, untouched by the frenzy of human attention, remained a reminder that the simplest connections often have the most profound. This viral tale wasn't just a fleeting trend. It became a movement, inspiring people to look at the natural world with renewed appreciation. It reminded everyone that even in a chaotic, often fragmented world, there's beauty in connection, resilience, and the unyielding power of friendship. The dog and deer had not only found each other, but had brought countless people together through their extraordinary story. As the story of the dog and deer gained widespread attention, local wildlife authorities and animal rescue organizations decided to step in to ensure their safety. The increasing number of curious visitors to the forest posed potential risks to the pair's natural habitat. Relocating them to a protected sanctuary became the top priority, a place where their unique bond could flourish away from prying eyes and potential danger. A carefully coordinated rescue mission was planned. Rangers and rescuers moved with caution, ensuring the animals felt as little stress as possible. The deer, though wary, remained calm as the rescuers approached, perhaps reassured by the dog's presence. The dog, ever protective, stood close to its companion, its steady gaze silently conveying trust but also vigilance. Once brought to the sanctuary, the animals were given thorough medical checkups. The dog, malnourished and scarred from its time in the wild, responded quickly to care. For the first time in years, it had consistent food, warm shelter, and the gentle touch of humans who understood its resilience. The deer, equally underweight but otherwise healthy, adapted more slowly, its instincts keeping it cautious in this new environment. What stood out most was how the pair remained inseparable. Even as caretakers tried to tend to them individually, the dog and deer sought each other out, their connection a source of comfort and the unfamiliar surroundings. Witnessing this bond up close was an emotional experience for the rescue team. "It's something you don't see every day," one caretaker said, her voice tinged with, "It's like their family." In the sanctuary, the dog and deer found a haven that allowed their bond to grow stronger. Acres of lush greenery replaced the dense, unpredictable forest. They explored their new home together, the dog leading the way across open fields, while the deer grazed nearby. The dog, though once wild and weathered, began to rediscover its playful side, It would chase after leaves carried by the wind, or gently nudge the deer to initiate their playful races. The deer, in turn, displayed a newfound confidence, often guiding the dog toward the sanctuary's watering holes and shaded. Caretakers at the sanctuary were amazed by how deeply connected the two had become. Their daily routines were intertwined, resting together under large oak trees, exploring their surroundings, or simply lying side by side in the warm sun. Despite their differences in species and instinct, their companionship transcended boundaries. Visitors to the sanctuary were equally touched by the sight of the inseparable duo. Some likened their bond to a perfect metaphor for overcoming differences, finding common ground, and thriving together. The dog and deer became symbols of hope, loyalty, and resilience, inspiring everyone who had the privilege of seeing them. As weeks turned into months, both animals thrived in their new environment. The dog's coat grew shiny and full, and its once weary eyes now sparkled with vitality. The deer, no longer skittish, displayed a calm confidence as it roamed the sanctuary grounds. Their story, however, was more than just a viral sensation. It became a lasting testament to the power of friendship and loyalty. The bond between the dog and deer wasn't merely about survival, it was a connection born of trust, forged in the wild and nurtured by shared experiences. Their journey reminded people everywhere that true friendship knows no boundaries. Whether it's between two creatures from different worlds or among humans, the lessons from this remarkable pair endure: compassion, resilience, and the beauty of connections that defy expectations. In their sanctuary, the dog and deer continued to live their lives in peace, their story echoing far beyond the forest that first brought them together. They were more than companions. They were symbols of hope, and a reminder that even in the most challenging circumstances, love and friendship have the power to transform lives. The story of the abandoned dog and wild deer is more than just a tale of survival. It is a celebration of resilience, love, and the power of unexpected friendship. Against all odds, these two creatures found solace in each other, proving that connection knows no boundaries of species or circumstance. Their bond reminds us of the strength that can emerge in the face of adversity, and how loyalty and trust can flourish even in the harshest conditions. It challenges us to see the world with a deeper sense of compassion, to understand that kindness and friendship can transform lives in ways we never imagined. Through their journey, the dog and deer showed us that even when the world feels cold and unforgiving, there is always hope to be found in connection. Their remarkable story encourages us to cherish the bonds we share and to look beyond our differences, whether in the animal kingdom or our own lives. If this heartwarming story has touched your heart, we invite you to be part of this journey by spreading its message. Share similar stories of resilience and friendship to inspire others and raise awareness about the importance of protecting wildlife and supporting animal rescue. Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment sharing your thoughts about this incredible bond. We'd love to hear your reflections or even stories of unlikely friendships you've witnessed. Subscribe to our channel for more inspiring tales from the animal kingdom, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new story. Together, let's celebrate the beauty of connection and support the creatures that make our world so extraordinary. Thank you for watching, and remember, the most powerful bonds often arise in the most unexpected places.